In today's video, I am going to be talking to you about how you can beat a 2-3 zone and really why it's not that hard. Now, I've heard a lot of coaches say that the other team's running a 2-3 zone. It's so hard to beat. It's almost cheating. Why are they running it? And I'm talking about the younger age groups. I'm not talking about the older age groups. I'm just talking about the younger age groups. And almost everyone seems to run a 2-3 zone because it seems to stump at least half of the teams in Ontario. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's really not that hard to beat. And I'm going to show you how. So let's get down and let's check this out. So the reason why everyone says that the 2-3 zone is so hard to beat is because it forces the other team in general to shoot more threes. And that's not a lie. That's exactly the reason why any team runs a 2-3. They are forcing you to shoot more threes. They want you to. That's the whole idea behind a 2-3. However, with younger players who may be spotting up from the three-point line, that's a very far distance and a very low shooting percentage. And especially with the age of 5-out offense, a lot of coaches, they're going to look at this and say, how am I going to get some easy baskets from this offense? How am I going to get some easy baskets into that 2-3? Well, obviously the ball starts up on the top. Personally, I like to start the ball out on the wing. That's just myself sometimes. If we're playing against the zone, I really like it going up the wing because now the defense is going to be shifted like this. If you've got an older team, backdoor cuts, lobs, very easy, great option to be able to score from, especially if you have somebody who does a high cut across, forces this guy up, and then you get some weak side cuts. That's just super easy. At the younger age, however, that's not going to happen. What I really like to do is to have player 5 show to the high post. I want this ball to be swung around to player 2. This is quick, very fast passes. And that's actually one of the reasons why teams struggle against a 2-3 zone. It's because they don't pass the ball very fast. And it allows the defense to shift and rotate, and they'll be set up again, and you still can't drive. You still can't get that ball into the paint. So you have to obviously have some very fast passes. Really quickly, however, if you want a great defense that's better than a 2-3 zone, make sure to go check out my Unbeatable Basketball Zone Defense book that is down in the description below. However, the reason why this works so well is because by swinging that ball around, when the ball gets to this man, player 4 needs to shadow until player 2 gets there, and then player 4 can move back. While this is all happening, I want player 3 to sink into the dunker spot, which is right here. So far, all we've done is we've got a player who cuts to the opposite side high post, swing, and now player 3 goes down because this is bringing player 4 up. Player 5, red, is going to be moving over because he wants to cut off the side of the key. Player 3 is going to shift. We're going to have a pass into player 3. That is going to draw player 5. Player 5 cuts, hits, layup. Very simple. If he's not open, because player 4 is going to drop down, now you've got player 2 who can cut. Player 5 stays over here. He doesn't go out to the three-point line. And if player 3 covers here, this is a pass here. If player 3 doesn't cover, it's a pass here. It's a layup. However, you may be saying, well, this guy's trapped. He's not going to be able to pass it. This is when practice really comes in handy because you can teach your teams with different drills on how to handle pressure, how to handle getting a double team, having 2 players on you or more by just pivoting, moving that ball, pivoting around, and having multiple players and trying to pivot out of that double team so that they can get that pass off to a teammate. Now that is really going to accelerate your ability to win. Teaching them hard things that they're going to face in game, teaching them that in practice, even though getting double teamed and dealing with a double team is something that we don't want them to do. We don't want them to dribble into the corner. We don't want them to dribble towards the sideline or the baseline or wherever. But by being able to deal with that, that's going to be able to help. But I'm going to tell you right now, that probably won't be a double team because if this was a double team, look what happens. Instead of cutting, player 2 just moves down. This is an easier pass out to player 2. And now the defense is all messed up. We can swing this ball around once again, and somebody's going to have an open shot. Somebody's going to have an open lane to drive. These are just some simple ways on being able to beat a 2-3, and they're really not that hard to be able to beat or run, really. Another option I really like is to run a play that I call 4. This play works against a man-to-man as well as a zone defense. And what we're looking to do is to have player 5 get that ball in that high post. After player 1 turns from here to now here, and he turns his face to try and guard player 5, and usually this will draw up player 5 red, we're going to have player 1, the passer, cut to the rim. Player 5 can pass to player 1, can also pass out to player 3 if that man covers player 1 cutting. Either way, this puts player 3 in a predicament where is he going to guard player 1 or is he going to guard player 3? And whoever he doesn't guard is going to have an open shot. If this guy drops in, which he shouldn't, that's a kick out here. That's a backdoor cut to here. That's a kick out here. There's a lot of different options. And if your team is really good on scrambling, if this ball goes out here, player 4 could quickly screen up and you get an open shot right here. Now, this is an advanced option. This is making players and teams think really fast. So I wouldn't expect them to set a random screen just to get somebody open against a zone. But when you start swinging that ball around, you set random screens on the ball handler when the guy who's supposed to be guarding that zone isn't even totally there yet, you're going to be super successful. I hope that these skills are able to help you beat a 2-3 zone. The idea behind beating a 2-3 zone is this. The basic principles are to be able to attack the gaps. Player 3 and 1, there's a gap there. You need to attack that. You need to attack that gap. You need to attack that gap. You need to attack this gap. And you need to attack that gap. The idea by attacking a gap is you are drawing in a double team, which means that you will have other players open. So for example, if player 5 has the ball and he attacks this gap, that now leaves player 5 player 2 open. If player 5 swings that ball over to player 1, now there's a gap here. He attacks this gap, that's going to close these guys, that's going to leave player 3 open. Now he attacks a gap. He's getting closer and closer into the paint. This now gets roughly a triple team. Again, kick the ball, drive, kick. He's recovering, baseline. Now we're getting into a point where somebody somewhere is going to have an easy open shot. Eventually, the defense is going to mess up. The other option is to get the ball into the paint as many times as possible, whether by passing or by cutting and hitting the backdoor cut, or by driving the ball yourself, or passing the ball into the high post, doing a high to low post pass. There's a lot of different options. Now here's my favorite play that I run with my U12s. Other than that 4 play that I like to run, I also like to run what I call dunkers, which is having 2 guys in the dunker spot. Obviously, grade 6s can't dunk, but what you're hoping for is this first pass is going to draw player 4 up. It's going to be a pass into player 5. When he drops, he cuts, simple, he helps, another pass over here, layup, or if they don't, he'll have an open layup, or if they drop, this is a kick out for a 3. There's so many options, but our main goal here is to get the ball passed into the dunker spot and to cut to the rim. It's going to be an open layup almost every single time. I hope that this video has helped you. If it has, hit that like button. Make sure to go check out my Unbeatable Basketball Zone Defense book that is down in the description below. I'll see you guys again in my next video.